What's up, YouTube? It's B Jones. So, yeah, messing around on YouTube and checking things out, and I've been kind of curious about this, and I found three different videos um, as to uh, why gas prices are so high. And so, yeah, this one's from Fox News. I'm gonna watch all three of them. This is who is to blame for soaring gas prices. Yeah. So let's check this out. I'll give some commentary in between the three, and according to Fox News, they can explain the reason for or for explain who is to blame for the soaring gas prices in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. So
yeah, hey Chris, let's show you the big board first here at the intersection of Kennedy and Howard. You can see $4.39 a gallon. That is, as you said, higher than the national average of $4.21 for a gallon of regular. Prices are going up so quickly that even in spans of under 12 hours, we're seeing a difference.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine hasn't brought tanks to our streets, but it has made the cost more to fill our own tanks.
We're paying more and just dealing with it.
Experts say that since the invasion, the price of a gallon of regular is up more than 20%, from $3.54 February 23rd to $4.21 Wednesday. Even though the U.S. doesn't import a big percentage of its oil from Russia, the psychological blow sanctions have put on oil markets is disproportionately large.
But maybe more like 90% of the recent increase here in the last week is because of Russia.
But prices were already going up. After they hit a pandemic-induced bottom of $193 April of 2020, demand has increased faster than supply.
There's very little any administration can do when gasoline prices are increasing because it's a reflection of the supply and demand dynamics around the entire world. And the United States is connected to the global oil market.
Experts do expect the increase to slow down, with one saying to expect it to go up another 25 cents a gallon over the next 2 weeks. Though Florida can only investigate gouging if a state of emergency were in effect that directly impacts supplies, the FTC promises to keep an eye on it.
It's no excuse to exercise excessive price increases or padding profits or any kind of effort to exploit this situation.
One thing the U.S. can do is increase oil production. It expects to do that over the next 2 years by 1 million barrels of oil per day. The president also says the increases should make us all consider, the federal government consider more investment in alternative energy supplies, which they say would leave us less exposed to the whims of a dictator. Back to you.
Yeah, that production, as you mentioned there, though, they're increasing the oil supply in the next 2 years. That's not going to do anything to bring those prices down at the pump anytime soon. All right, Evan Axelbank with the latest on the soaring gas prices for us. Thanks, Evan.
Well, now at 5.
yeah, so our increase in the gas prices at the pump are because Russia was invading Ukraine. Interesting. Very interesting. That's according to Fox News. All right, so little eyeball in the corner there, that's CBS. See what CBS has to say in 1 minute and 37 seconds.
American drivers are now paying more for gas than they've ever paid before, a national average of $4.17 per gallon. In California, it's over $5. But why is gas so expensive? Well, prices have been on the rise for a while as inflation soared because of rising consumer demand and businesses lifting COVID-19 restrictions. But when Russia invaded Ukraine and the U.S. started sanctioning Russia's oil refinery sector, things got even worse. The military conflict between Russia and Ukraine has driven up crude oil prices over the last 7 days by over 30%, analysts at the investment bank UBS said in a report. That's the second largest one-week increase in crude oil in the last 30 years. And don't expect prices at the pump to go down anytime soon. President Biden just announced a U.S. ban on Russian oil and gas imports, taking aim at Putin's main revenue source in an attempt to stop the fighting. As a result, Brent crude oil, the benchmark for oil prices, jumped 5% that day to more than $129 a barrel. Russia exports about 12% of the world's supply of crude oil.
Okay, wrap your brain around that. Russia exports 12% of the world's supply of crude oil. 12%. That means 88% comes from somewhere else. So that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Any disruption to those exports is likely to drive prices at the pump higher for consumers almost everywhere. In fact, Europe is even more dependent on Russian oil than the U.S. So now the U.S. and European countries are seeking energy sources outside of Russia, and increased oil production will likely have to come from the U.S., Venezuela, Iran, or OPEC. But ultimately, prices will probably get worse before they get better.
And that's only because they want it to get worse. Wow. 12% of the oil comes from Russia. 88% comes from other places. So because 12% is being sanctioned, our prices have gone up by what they say on Fox News, 90% in the last, in the last month. Come on, man. I'm sorry, it sounds kind of, price gouging. I'll give you guys a little extra tidbit after we watch this one. The Washington Post put this out. This is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 3 minutes and 30. I'm sorry. 3 minutes and 57 seconds. So
they're astronomical. They're going to get worse.
What can I do? I ain't gonna walk and catch the bus.
It's a lesson in global economics taught at the local gas pump. You can see it on the sign at this station in Oakland, California, $5.69 a gallon. Prices are higher in California thanks to state regulations and taxes, but everyone is paying more, about 50% more than last year, and prices will likely only go up.
It'll alter my driving pattern if it keeps going up, especially.
Demand is high and supply tight coming out of the pandemic. The war in Ukraine is only making it worse. It's all because of the way oil is priced.
There's a global price, and disruptions or interruptions or price spikes anywhere lead to price spikes in the United States. So we're much more connected, even though we only import a tiny amount of Russian oil.
What's driving prices now? A pullback of supply from Russia, the world's second largest exporter of oil. Adding to that, an old enemy of any market, fear and uncertainty.
Buyers of Russian oil, companies, traders, shippers, have become afraid to touch it because of the growing risk of sanctions.
Now, the U.S. is banning imports of Russian oil.
This is a step that we're taking to inflict further pain on Putin.
But the U.S. only imports a small amount, mostly something called mazout, a kind of heavier fuel oil that goes into refineries and comes out as diesel and gasoline.
The implications for U.S. consumers in terms of prices at the pump.
Okay, I'm glad they mentioned diesel and gasoline. because that's something I wanted to cover after.
Is pretty minimal compared to the huge increase in prices that we've already seen.
Mark Finley is at Rice University and was an economist at BP and an energy security specialist at the CIA.
It could, provide a opening gambit in a broader effort to try to squeeze Russia. Oil is half of all of Russia's exports. It's 40% of the government's revenues.
You may think the U.S. can just drill more, pump more, rely even less on oil from other lands. It already produces most of what it uses. But it's not that simple.
The oil and gas industry has millions of acres leased. They have 9,000 permits to drill now. They are not using them for production now. That's their decision.
A decision revolving around booms and busts and the low oil prices of years past. It's all enough to worry energy company executives.
You want to be really sure that the risk of another price collapse has gone away before you start to invest a lot more.
It's likely other nations, including much of Europe, won't be so quick to ban their use of Russian energy.
There are specific countries in Europe that depend on Russia for up to 80% of their supplies.
It's possible U.S. gas prices could spiral toward $5 a gallon for everyone. There's about a 3-week lag between these prices and what oil is going for.
Introducing the all-electric F-150 Lightning.
So what about cleaner energy, hybrids, electric vehicles? These still account for a small percentage of sales. Automakers have plans to make more, but this takes time, and it takes raw materials and metals to make batteries and chips. It's material already in short supply, and big chunks of it comes from Russia and Ukraine. So how does all of this end? Analysts say either tensions lessen, taking the edge off prices, or there's a recession that smothers demand.
My prediction is tremendous volatility and uncertainty. Buckle up because it could be a pretty wild ride.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty amazing, man. So, interesting. Very, very interesting. So, all the main those 3 videos, the Fox News, CBS, and the Washington Post, they're all saying that the main reason for our gas prices being so high is the conflict going on between Russia and Ukraine. That's an interesting thing, but also in the Washington Post, like I said earlier, something that I wanted to cover is they said something about diesel. There's an oil that they import that is used to refine diesel and gasoline. Now, it's true, but it's also kind of false. I mean, not really false, misleading. That they say that, oh, well, we use this crude oil to produce diesel and gasoline. Here's a little known fact. Gasoline is a byproduct of producing diesel. So gasoline's a byproduct of diesel. Why are we paying so much for gasoline? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Do the research if you want. But I've known I know a lot of people in the refinery industry, and uh, the way that they refine the oil to produce diesel, a byproduct of that production process is gasoline. So, yeah, this crazy. It is absolute insanity. You know that all these all these companies that have, like, Lion Joe said, 9,000 permits to drill for oil and on leased land and all this other shit. You know, yeah, I'm not a fan of Joe. He's yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other platform and soapbox and all that good shit. Um, but these companies, that have all these permits to drill for oil and all that, and they're not drilling because they're scared. No, I definitely call bullshit on the scared part. Okay, you know, oh, we want to make sure that there's no possibility of a price drop in crude oil. Well, being in business is a risk. So you're afraid to spend money to make money. You're not going to make money. You're going to lose money. It, I'm sorry. I don't feel that it's oh, well, these companies are scared to drill. They're scared to invest this money. No, no. They're not scared to invest the money. Because if they were scared to invest the money, they wouldn't be in that business in the first fucking place. All right? They're not scared. They're being told not to because their addition to our oil surplus or whatever, what have you, will diminish that high price. And the people that have all the, have billions of dollars, or not necessarily billions, but millions of dollars invested in the oil industry. Well, they don't want to lose their high stake because, as long as gas prices are way the fuck up here, they're going to continue to make more money on their investment. So why would we want to have these companies drill for oil that will in the long term, lower the price of oil and lower the price of gasoline so that they're not going to make as much fucking money? Fuck them. Drill for oil, you fucking pricks. Wow. God, I guess there's a reason I'm not a news commentator, because I am just fucking heated over this issue. Because this is fucking killing us. But anyway, just figured I'd put this out there for you guys. You guys have a great Saturday. Great rest of your weekend. And hey, peace out. Spread the love, man.